Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Education Exploration Hub. I'm your host, Sophia.
And I'm your host, Dylan. This is your cozy space for learning English through real, meaningful conversations.
Today, we are diving into a topic that hits close to home for so many of us.
Oh, absolutely. It sounds simple at first, but it gets personal really fast.
Exactly. We're talking about why you quit too early and don't even realize it.
Oof, that is a topic that makes you stop and think. It's the kind of thing where you smile and nod, but inside, you're remembering all those goals you left behind.
Right, like the gym membership you used for a week or the language learning app you deleted after 3 days.
Hey, 3 days is not quitting. That's just market research.
Is that what we're calling it now?
I'm trying to protect people's feelings here, Sophia.
I appreciate that, but let's be honest, this matters because quitting doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks quiet and reasonable.
Yes, it sounds like maybe this just isn't for me right now.
Or the classic, I'll start again on Monday.
Ah, Monday, the most famous life coach in the world. We give Monday so much power.
We really do. Poor Monday carries all our hopes and dreams.
But here's the thing. Most people don't quit because they're lazy. They quit because the journey stops being exciting.
That's such an important point. The beginning feels amazing, it's shiny and new, but then comes the middle.
The boring middle. Nobody makes videos about that part.
No, they don't. In the middle, things get quiet, repetitive, and unclear. You stop seeing progress and you start doubting yourself.
And that doubt can take a toll on you. If something takes a toll, it slowly drains your energy and motivation.
Exactly. You're still showing up, but you're tired. You're trying, but nothing feels exciting anymore.
At first, you're motivated. Then you're just normal. Then you're bored. And then suddenly, you're looking at your goal like it personally offended you.
That is so true. You start thinking, why am I even doing this?
And that's when people become reluctant. Reluctant means you're not fully willing anymore. Part of you wants to continue, but a bigger part wants to stop.
You don't quit completely, but your heart isn't in it anymore. You delay, you avoid, you tell yourself you'll do it later.
And the tricky part, this stage looks very reasonable. You might think, I'm just being honest with myself. Maybe this goal wasn't right for me.
Sometimes that's true, but many times it's not honesty, it's just exhaustion mixed with disappointment.
Yes, because the middle doesn't reward you quickly. It asks you to keep going even when nothing feels worth it.
Which is rude, honestly.
Very rude. But here's where most people leave. Not because they can't do it, but because the magic is gone.
And once the magic disappears, people start asking a dangerous question.
Do I even see anything happening?
Exactly. And that brings us to something really important. Growth doesn't always look obvious while it's happening.
That is so true. Sometimes change is quiet. You may not see huge results, but maybe you're becoming more patient, more focused, or more steady.
Yes, and that's why one insightful thing to remember is this. Your perception of progress is not always accurate.
Insightful means showing deep understanding, and perception means how you see things. So basically, the way you judge your progress can be completely wrong.
Your brain is not always a fair judge.
No, it's not. Your brain looks at 3 weeks of effort and says, not dramatic enough. I'm not impressed.
Please come back when there are fireworks.
Exactly. But think about learning English. You might feel stuck because you're not speaking perfectly, but maybe you understand more now. Maybe you hesitate less. Maybe you're less afraid.
That is growth. It's not loud, but it's real. People often respect visible progress and ignore invisible progress, but invisible progress is the foundation.
Yes. Before confidence shows on the outside, it grows quietly on the inside. Before skill looks smooth, it feels messy.
Wow, that is powerful. People want proof too early. They want results before the process has had time to breathe.
And when they don't get that proof, they panic. They assume no visible result means no movement, but that's not always true.
So if you're in a quiet season, it doesn't mean you're lost. It might mean you're building.
And sometimes, right in that quiet season, another misunderstanding appears.
People start confusing discomfort with failure.
This is huge. The moment something feels awkward or difficult, people think, this must be a sign.
A sign from the universe.
Exactly. Maybe this isn't for me.
But discomfort doesn't always mean stop. Sometimes it just means stretch.
Yes, sometimes it means you're learning something new. Sometimes your old habits are being challenged. Sometimes your identity is changing. and that never feels comfortable.
And the strange thing is, people often feel most uncomfortable when they're on the verge of something important. To be on the verge of something means you're very close to it happening. You might be on the verge of improvement, confidence, or breakthrough, but because it feels unfamiliar, your brain labels it as danger.
Our brains don't say, "Congratulations, you're growing." They say, "Abort wishin', this feels wrong."
Unfortunately, yes. Think of speaking in public, starting a new job, or learning a new skill. Those things feel uncomfortable at first, not because they're wrong, but because they're new.
Exactly. Hard doesn't mean harmful. Awkward doesn't mean impossible.
And I think this is where people need more kindness with themselves. If every uncomfortable feeling becomes a reason to quit, growth becomes impossible.
You cannot grow and stay fully comfortable at the same time. Something in you has to stretch.
Beautiful and slightly annoying.
Very annoying. And you know what makes that discomfort even harder?
Comparison.
Yes, comparison is dangerous because it makes your journey feel small even when it's real.
You may have made progress, but then you look at someone else and suddenly your effort feels invisible. And the problem is growth is unpredictable. That means you can't know in advance how or when progress will happen.
Exactly. One person improves quickly in one area and slowly in another. One person gets results early, another builds quietly. There is no neat timeline.
But social media makes everything look clean and fast. It makes growth look like a straight line.
Yes, day 1, confused. Day 7, transformed. Day 14, glowing in perfect light.
And somehow they're also drinking a green smoothie.
Always. But real life is messy and uneven. If you compare your behind-the-scenes struggle to someone else's polished moment, you'll feel behind for no good reason.
I think instead of comparing results, people should pay attention to whether they show willingness to stay in the process.
To show willingness means to show you're ready and open to try. That matters so much. Maybe you're not perfect yet, maybe you're not fast yet, but are you willing to learn? Are you willing to continue?
That willingness is powerful.
It really is. Because comparison asks, am I ahead? But growth asks, am I still here?
Oof, say that again.
Comparison asks, am I ahead? But growth asks, am I still here?
That is the real question, because if you're still here, still trying, still learning, then the story is not over.
And honestly, sometimes the saddest part is this. People leave right before something begins to change.
This point really gets me. It happens so often. A person works, struggles, doubts, gets tired, and then just as things are starting to shift, they walk away.
To walk away from something means to leave it behind. They walk away from the routine, the practice, the dream, the version of themselves that was slowly being built.
Not because they were weak, not because they had no ability, but because they believed the silence meant failure.
Yes, and this is why quitting early can be so heartbreaking. You don't always know how close you were.
It reminds me of people learning a language. For a long time, they feel slow. Then one day, without warning, they understand a joke or answer naturally or speak with less fear.
Exactly. Progress often arrives quietly. It doesn't always knock loudly on the door.
Sometimes it sneaks in wearing slippers.
That is a strange image, but accurate.
Very accurate. And this is why patience matters, because growth doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it's already happening while you're busy feeling discouraged.
So many people think they need more talent, but sometimes they just need more time.
Yes, more time, more steadiness, more trust in the process.
And to be clear, not every goal should be forced forever. Sometimes walking away is healthy. Sometimes something truly is not right.
That is true, but that decision should come from wisdom, not from one tired emotional moment.
Yes, not from one boring week, not from one bad day, not from one moment of doubt that feels louder than the truth.
So then the question becomes, what do we do in those moments? Yes, how do you stay when every part of you wants to leave and start something new?
Yes, how do you stay when every part of you wants to leave and start something new?
So first, when everything feels heavy, narrow down the goal.
To narrow down something means to make it smaller, clearer, and more focused.
Please don't try to fix your whole life by Tuesday.
Please don't. That's very tiring. If the goal feels too big, make it smaller. If the routine feels too hard, make it lighter. If the process feels overwhelming, focus on one next step.
I think people often quit because the goal becomes emotionally too large. It starts feeling like a judgment on their whole life.
Yes, it's no longer, I missed one day. It becomes, I'm the kind of person who never follows through.
And that is too much weight for one moment to carry.
Exactly. So speak more carefully to yourself. Stay specific, stay calm. Do not turn one difficult moment into a story about your whole identity.
Second, remember your reason, not the dramatic reason you wrote in a burst of motivation, the honest one, the human one.
Yes, maybe you started because you wanted peace, confidence, health, stability, self-respect, or connection. Come back to that.
Third, allow imperfect consistency. That matters so much.
Yes, a messy effort that continues is often stronger than a perfect effort that disappears.
Oof, that one should be on a mug.
A very serious mug.
A mug with emotional depth.
And finally, stop asking, do I feel inspired? Ask, can I stay with this a little longer?
Because sometimes the bravest thing is not doing more. Sometimes it's simply not leaving.
Yes, not leaving yourself, not leaving the process, not leaving the quiet work just because it's not exciting today.
I really love that because staying is a skill. It's not always dramatic. Sometimes it's just one ordinary choice made again and again.
And over time, those ordinary choices change you.
They really do. And now, let's slow down and look at some of the powerful words and phrases we use today.
Yes, because some of them sound very natural in conversation, but they also carry a lot of meaning.
So if any of these expressions made you pause, don't worry, we've got you.
No one is being left alone in the vocabulary forest today.
That is a strange image, but a supportive one.
Very supportive. So, let's begin.
First phrase, leave an impression.
To leave an impression means to create a strong effect that people remember. It stays in your mind because it felt powerful or meaningful.
For example, the beginning of a new goal often leaves an impression because it feels exciting and full of hope.
Repeat. Leave an impression.
Next, take a toll.
If something takes a toll on you, it slowly has a negative effect on your energy or emotions over time.
For example, the boring middle can take a toll on people when they don't see results for a long time.
Repeat. Take a toll.
Next, reluctant.
If you feel reluctant, you are not fully willing. You feel unsure or hesitant.
For example, after a few difficult weeks, she became reluctant to keep going.
Repeat. Reluctant.
Next, insightful.
If something is insightful, it shows deep understanding. It helps you see things clearly.
For example, it was an insightful reminder that progress is not always visible.
Repeat. Insightful.
Next, perception.
Perception means the way you see something or understand it.
For example, your perception of progress is not always accurate.
Repeat. Perception.
Next, be on the verge of.
To be on the verge of something means to be very close to it happening.
For example, sometimes when things feel uncomfortable, you're actually on the verge of growth.
Repeat. Be on the verge of.
Next, unpredictable.
If something is unpredictable, it is not easy to know in advance. It can change unexpectedly.
For example, growth is unpredictable, so it doesn't follow the same path for everyone.
Repeat. Unpredictable.
Next, show willingness.
To show willingness means to show you are ready and open to try something.
For example, what matters most is your ability to show willingness to stay in the process.
Repeat. Show willingness.
Next, walk away from.
To walk away from something means to leave it behind.
For example, many people walk away from their goal right before progress starts to appear.
Repeat. Walk away from.
And finally, narrow down.
To narrow down something means to make it smaller and more focused.
For example, when everything feels overwhelming, narrow down your goal and focus on one small step.
Repeat. Narrow down.
And those were the key words and phrases from today's episode.
And maybe the heart of today's message is simple. You don't always need to do more. Sometimes you just need to stay a little longer.
Yes, be kind to yourself. Trust the quiet part and don't walk away too quickly.
Take care of your heart.
This is Sophia.
And this is Dylan.
And you have been listening to the Education Exploration Hub. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.